Good morning, Boucan fans. Today we are going to be doing a classic smoked turkey. Nothing special, just a regular Thanksgiving treat. So to get started, we needed to thaw the bird. It's been refrigerator thawed for a couple of days. Now we've got onions for inside. You can use whatever you like, but I do onions usually. But for the rub, of course, we're going to make a simple salt-rich rub like always. We start with salt. That's about 3/4 of a cup. Garlic powder. You don't need the lid for this. About 1/4 cup of garlic powder. And then sage, about half one of these containers of sage. That will make our rub. You want to get it pre-mixed so that you actually get the sage everywhere, otherwise you're going to end up with salt in some spots, sage in some spots, and no even coverage. Had the grill going for a little while this morning because it's in the 30s out here. A little too cold for normal. But there's our spice mix. And here's our bird the way it came. So we're going to untuck the feet. That gives us access to the whole inside of the bird. They've got the tail turned inside out, which is fun. But we've already taken out the gizzards and hearts and livers and all of that. Now we're only flipping them upside down to make sure we season them well on the inside. But before we get started, let's get the onions cleaned up. Need the roots off, tops off, and peel. The onions are going to add a little bit moisture while this thing is cooking to keep the inside moist. They also add a little bit of flavor, being aromatic. Doesn't take that much to add a little bit of flavor to the inside of the bird. Turkey's such a mild flavor to begin with. You need a little bit of taste to it, which is the whole point of the sage and the garlic and the onion. We're not trying to cover it up, we're just trying to add a little bit to it. Now hopefully you guys have seen some of the other videos that I've done. If there's anything you would like to see us do here on the Boucan, just let me know in the comments. The main reason I flip it this way for seasoning is to make sure that gravity helps me get it onto the inside of the breast, which is where you need the salt the most. The thighs and the back, they have plenty of moisture on their own. The salt will help seize it up a little bit. Light coating of the rub underneath, and a good bath in the salt. Basically, flavor comes from salt, sugar, and some herbs. Sage is the primary taste we're going for. The garlic is your sugar.
Onions and garlic do have almost as much sugar as fruit. They definitely have more than any other vegetable.
A maybe exception of a beet or a carrot, but they're right on the same level with beets and carrots. So you want to be careful not to put too much garlic, not because the garlic's going to be strong tasting, but because it's going to cause things to brown. That's why we mixed it in with the salt. Salt helps us get a good crust and a great taste. And we're going to retuck those feet. They're not going to stay tucked the whole time. That will break down over time. But it's better than not having it. Let me get this guy put on the grill for us.
Almost forgot to put the onions in him.
Looking pretty good. Now, because the handle of... Well, hello Boucan fans. Our turkey has rested. Now it is time to actually go ahead and carve this guy. Be dried out. So I stop it right as we get to the right temperature. To make it safe. And that's our turkey. Perfect.